In the same way, one may often observe evil people enjoying very pleasant lives. The seeds they're planting today will bring them misery in the future. But before that day comes, they are receiving the results of good deeds they have done in the past lives. Now, there are two basic principles that underlie all karma. First of all karmic seeds eventually will bear fruit. Number two, bad karma cannot be turned into good karma. In other words, good karma will result in good fruits or good effects, while bad karma will give rise to bad results. We've said that bad karma cannot turn into good karma, but it can be diluted. It's just like adding water to a glass of salt water. The more pure water you pour into the cup, the more diluted and the less salty it will become. We can treat the salt as the bad karma and the pure water as the good karma, and you can pretty much imagine how this all works out. And secondly, it's like dyeing a piece of cloth. So the color that you add to the cloth will turn the cloth into that color too. Therefore, the effects of bad karma can be lessened by adding the effects of many good seeds to them. There are many misinterpretations of karma which people can have. For example, people may think, oh, I have been a vegetarian for many years, but why do I still get sick? Or I have faith in Buddhism and I am a vegetarian, but why are my children still unfilial to me? Or they may wonder, I have been a Buddhist for many years. Why did my company still go bankrupt? We have to understand that each cause will create its corresponding effects and karma. So if you want to be healthy, eat healthily, do plenty of exercise, and watch your hygiene. Don't expect to be healthy just by chanting the Buddha's name. This will be a distorted view on cause and effect. And if you want to be successful in your career, then you will have to work hard and put in the right effort in order to do so. Not just because you're a vegetarian will you be able to accomplish every single wish that you have in mind. It simply doesn't work that way. Or if you want your children to treat you well, then you need to educate them well and help them develop the right views in life while they're young. Karma can be regarded as the most accurate calculator in the world. It is even better than the most advanced computers of today. Each of us will bear the consequences of every karma we create without exceptions. When the time is right, karma will ripen. Okay, we have just discussed some of the most basic aspects of the law of karma. In addition to these aspects, there are three basic factors that determine the order or direction of our karma. First of all, it's the karma's seriousness. Secondly, it's our habits. Thirdly, it is our thoughts. As for very serious karma, whether good or bad, it will arrive before the less serious karma because it is so powerful. And our habits will also determine the directions of our lives. For example, a habit or our habits in this life will be a powerful force in determining the nature and quality of our next life. That's why there's a Chinese saying which tells us that 万般带不去，只有业随身. There's nothing you can bring with you into your next life but your karma. And our thoughts are always creating and recreating our lives. Therefore, our thoughts cause our lives to flow in different directions at different times. The shifting stream of our thoughts sometimes alters its course for almost no reason. It's just like at a crossroad. You suddenly pick a direction and you just go in that direction. Or you go out for a walk and then, although you have nothing in mind, And nevertheless, we still have to decide where we want to go. When we come to an intersection, we have to decide which direction or which path that we will follow. And sometimes this could be determined by the thoughts we have or the habits that we have. Once there was a young novice monk who followed a master in spiritual cultivation. But one day, the old master, using his supernatural power, saw that this young monk will die 10 days later. Therefore, he said to him, don't worry about your chores now. Now I want you to go home and visit your parents, and then come back after 10 days. The novice monk went happily on his way. And on his way home, he passed a flooding river where there was a group of ants that were trapped on a branch in the middle of the river. And knowing that without saving them, they would quickly be washed away by the torrent, the novice monk picked up another tree branch and created a bridge for the ants to get ashore safely. After doing so, he went on his way. He went home, visited his parents, and then 10 days later, he was still alive and he came back to the temple. This surprised the master very much. Therefore, once again, he used his supernatural power and looked at what happened. And it turned out that this act of kindness which came out of the novice monk diverted his karma and allowed him to live for a much longer life. From this we can see how much our thoughts could determine or affect our future directions. And we can also see that the course of our thoughts can have a subtle and far-reaching influence on our lives. A single thought can lead us toward hell, or it can lead us closer to the Buddha. Once a man asked Chan Master Wuder, "Master, I have studied Chan for many years, but I'm still not enlightened, and I'm very doubtful about the existence of heaven and hell as described in the sutras. I don't think there is a heaven or hell beyond this world." Master Wuder did not answer his question immediately. Instead, he told the man to go and get a bucket of water from the river. The man did as he was told, and then Chan Master Wuder said to him, "Now I want you to look inside the bucket. Maybe you can see heaven and hell." Half suspiciously, this man looked into the bucket, but he could not see anything. Then suddenly Master Wuder pushed his face into the water, and the man struggled with pain. Finally, the master released his hand when the man was almost out of breath. And after regaining his breath, the man said very angrily, "How can you be so cruel and push my head into the water? It was just like hell." The master replied calmly, "But now tell me how you feel." The man replied, "Now I can breathe easily. It is like heaven." Then the master started laughing and said, "In only a short while you have returned from heaven and hell, yet you say that you don't believe in the existence of a heaven and hell?" And once again, this will be a demonstration on where our thoughts can take us. If our thoughts are in the right direction, then we will be in heaven. But if our thoughts follow the wrong paths, it could easily take us to hell. Okay, now there are a few principles and expressions on karma which we need to look at. We would say, if everything is impermanent, then how can karma persist over many lifetimes? And the Buddha answered this question by comparing karma to seeds and to customs or persistent traits. For example, if you place a seed on a table, and it will remain seed for many years, but once we give it the right conditions, it will grow. The same goes to our intentional acts. They produce seeds that are stored in our consciousness. And when conditions are right, these seeds will sprout and grow. The Buddha said that karma persists just as the odor of perfume persists in a bottle, even after all the perfume is gone. And The habit, the tendencies, and the karma of one life will persist in the next life in just this way. One day, a group of fishermen was selling fish in the market till late. As all the hotels were closed and there was nowhere for them to stay, they decided to spend the night at a florist. The florist was filled with an array of beautiful flowers of all descriptions, and a sweet fragrance permeated the entire shop. However, the group of fishermen continued to toss and turn in bed well into the night, unable to sleep, and none of them could figure out why. One of them decided that it was probably the strong fragrance of the flowers, so he brought in the fish baskets and placed them near their beds. When everyone could breathe in the familiar fish odor, they quickly fell asleep. A person's habit can usually change his or her life unknowingly. Just as the old saying goes, one takes on the color of one's company. Our good and evil thoughts that arise every day, or the gentlemen and the villains whom we come across, or our appropriate or illegal behaviors, can all have an imperceptible but definite effect on us. The way we look, our interactions, our characters, and even the success or failure of our life are all deeply related to the habits of our speech, our mind, and our actions. As has been said, those who commit evil acts are like a stone that is placed on a grinder. You may not see the damage done, but the size will decrease as the day goes by. Those who practice virtuous actions are like a person entering a darkroom of orchids. You may not see them increase in number, but the fragrance will get stronger as days go by. Just as the group of fishermen who spent most of their time around fish, they had trouble falling asleep in a room filled with the fragrance of flowers. A person who does not reflect on his own thoughts and habits often is just like a fisherman who is so used to the odor of his environment that he has come to love the stench. A person's mind is like a piece of white silk that may be imbued with the fragrance of flowers or stained by the stench of dead fish. It all depends on whether we spend our time near virtuous or evil company, near ignorant or wise ones. The choice between fragrance and odor, corruption and brightness, depends on the thought of awareness. And the real brave people are those who have the will and courage to challenge their own ugly habits. In summary, the most basic aspects of karma are: once a karma seed has been made, it cannot be destroyed. Or the karmic result of a karmic cause will be of the same type as the cause. For example, when you plant a mango seed, you can only get a mango. You cannot end up with a melon. And finally, each one of us receives the effects of all the karmic causes we have made, and we receive the effects of only those causes. Remember, karma is the force that keeps us in the cycle of rebirth and will always stay with us no matter where we are. And we all create our own karma and cannot avoid the effects of causes which we ourselves have set in motion.